So I ran my first session over the internet with a friend of mine for Halls of Arden Vul. He made up his own character, for now a single class bandit. If you want to know what the bandit is from AD&D, it's issue 63 of Dragon Magazine, which is available online at the Internet Archive. If you just happen to want to ever read a Dragon Magazine, I think it has the entire run, all the way up to when Paizo quit publishing it. So anyway, he's playing a single class bandit. He's going to dual class eventually. What's called a character with more than two classes. In first edition and second edition was just called dual classing, which was funny because in first edition it seems implicit that you can only do excuse me. You can only do two classes that way, but in second edition it was pretty clear you could do as many as you could qualify for. But anyway, so he made up his character. We finished doing that. Only had a 4-hour window, and it's right after I get out of work. He has that day off, so he'll be better rested than me. I have a extremely long day usually, and I get up very early, or we're 2 hours difference in time zones. He's on the East Coast. I'm here in the mountains. So we probably had a session where he managed to recruit 5 mercenaries and dig up some rumors, talk to a few NPCs, bought some land with his starting gold. He didn't spend a ton of his starting gold on equipment because that's pretty standard for him. If he'd been given thousands of gold, maybe he would have bought thousands of gold worth of equipment, but he also might have bought a lot more land, a lot bigger piece of land. It was a pretty good opening session, but nothing really happened other than him getting set up and knowing who his brothers in arms are. These mercenaries he's hired. He's only first level, so can't recruit henchmen yet. I'm not making up NPC. If he wants NPCs to go along with him on his adventures, he's going to have to recruit them himself using his charisma, which he did not use as a dump stat, but it's not. It's high average. It's 12 charisma, and he got along very well with a number of bureaucrats. This is more of a typical way this particular player operates. He does not attack problems head on at all times. He looks for multiple modes of doing things, usually setting up groundwork so that he can have things in the future. He doesn't rush. Usually when he and I are playing together, I'm usually the one who ends up having to push him to get going on things like right now. Like I just get, okay, enough preamble. We have a plan. Let's just go right now. So that's usually what I do. But often, also, I'm a rash player. When I'm not a game master, I can be extremely rash, and it helps to have someone like him pull you back. We actually play that's part of the reason why we play really well together. He comes up with the screwy ideas. I'm as subtle as a punch to the gut. We both play hand in hand like that. So as game master and player, he and I get along good too. Again, because our outlook, I like being surprised by him. I know I'm not gonna figure out what he's up to just by implication. I'm not going to be able to read completely into what he's up to. But part of that too is he actually has some trouble knowing exactly what I'm up to because I think so much more directly and he thinks so much more laterally. And my lateral thinking got better because of him and other players who thought laterally. And he's better at foreseeing complications from simple plans. And I'm better at ignoring the complications and getting to it. My style of play as a player is Ulysses S. Grant versus his style is Sun Tzu. He's not necessarily going to have to beat you on the battlefield to beat you, whereas I might face you on the battlefield, but I don't really worry too much about what's going on outside of that. But as a first session, not a lot happened. I mean, he negotiated. He hit it off pretty well with a bureaucrat at the front gates not the front gate, at the Imperial Gate in Gosterwick. He went to tax collectors and made friends there, which is of course not always where players think to go, but very clever. If there's a group of people you would like to have as friends, it would be tax collectors. People who might let it slide because you've helped them in the past or been their friend. He went around tipping people. This is the Arcontian Empire. I think of it as being very much like I think of it the designer explicitly compares it with Constantinople. So I imagine the tax collectors have kind of a tax farming thing going on. So paying them a little extra silver is not going to upset them. That would have been part and parcel of their entire reason for being there. They're trying to make money. If you don't know what tax farming is, you can look it up. But tax farming is people collect the taxes for the government, and they take a share and keep it for themselves. It's not done now in modern, like European and American and Japan. That would be a no-no. But in history, up until that's part of the reason why tax collectors were so despised. Anyway, going off on a tangent, but he made friends with tax collectors and bureaucrats, which they're almost the opposite of an adventurer is a tax collector, a publican, as they're referred to in the Bible. I just find it vaguely amusing that was where he started, because that's certainly it's not where I would have gone as a player, and that's why I like him as a player. I already know. It sucks to know everything your players are about to do because they have a box this big where their thinking is, and they never go outside of it. But for this player, his inside the box thinking his box is titanic, and it seems like outside the box thinking to me, but he's not thinking the way I am. So that's what's fun. Looking forward to seeing what he does and how it surprises me. When it comes to things like combat and stuff, he can still surprise me a little bit too. But there's only it's still D&D. I still know what spells he has and stuff like that. But what's surprising usually is the outside combat maneuvering that he does, which I've always been vastly his inferior at. There's other guys that were better at that than me too, but I was usually pretty good at more direct routes. Even though my personality doesn't necessarily show that, his personality doesn't necessarily show that. I think you would if you met us both in real life, I think you would assume that I'm the one with the out of the box thinking and stuff like that, and not being direct. And when in gameplay, I am way more direct than I am as a person. There was something going on online. I saw that there was people talking about, is your character? It's a hot topic. And is your character you, or is it something separate? And I personally think it's not a completely separate being. You cannot separate yourself from your character. I don't play lawful good characters very well. It's just not. It's not where my brain goes. I'm not someone who's gonna operate that character very well. I'm much better at running a lawful evil character, or a lawful neutral character, or a chaotic neutral character. I'm bad at. I'd be useless as a chaotic evil character, and neutral evil, but someone who puts order above everything, and even above morality, and is almost amoral in bringing order. That I can play that. It's not who I am in real life. I'm not a police officer. I never had any urge to be a police officer. I've never been a power hungry person in real life, but I do love order. So I could play Odo from DS9, and he has I don't know what alignment he's bad at playing. I think excessively balanced. He needs a little extreme in his. He's a little bit of extreme. I've never seen him play like a true neutral. I don't think he could be a little too wishy-washy for him. He needs a little extreme. And also, a long time in my campaign, I never used alignments. Let players play the kind of character they wanted to play. And I was considering that going into this, but it is AD&D, and it does give some direction to players who don't invent their characters from whole cloth. Anyway, it's just... So he's playing a bandit. So obviously he's not playing a character who's all about law and order. He's playing his character subtly. He's not walking around with a big banner saying, "I'm a bandit. Please come arrest me, law enforcement," because that would be stupid. And there's a lot of things that this player is, but stupid's actually a very bad description would be a very bad inapt description of him. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Just happy to have. So now, tomorrow, because I'm recording this and I'll be posting this like right after, because I do no editing, as you can tell. I'm getting some stuff ready for tomorrow's game, which is right now I have 3 players. We'll see if I have a 4th. I'm actually gonna message on my phone here player number 4, so he gets a little bit of a heads up, so he can maybe get his character under control, so we can get going quickly. That's the only thing that's been bad. The 2 sessions I've had with the other guys and the 1 session I've had, not a whole lot of things have happened. Oh, and if you're wondering why I have this on my arm, I'm just compressing. I have my job is worn out the joints in my wrist and stuff. I just need a little compression. It's nothing. It's better now than it was Monday, but I don't know. I just lifted my arm. I didn't really intend to show, because it looks like dough wrapped in muslin or something. I feel like I look like a creep, and it's just my chubby hands popping out. Anyway, gone on too long. It shouldn't have been 15-minute video. It should have been 10 minutes at most. Anyway, I'll talk to everyone later. If you do actually like any of my content for some reason, please like and subscribe.